If you've been following me for a while, you know that I love going to the thrift store and taking items that someone did not need or want anymore and recreating them into a whole new way. Today's video I have for you really cool and exciting thrift store flips, and I cannot wait to show you.
This wooden basket was $1.99 at the thrift store and it was such a great deal, great quality, very durable. And I gave it one coat of the spray paint and then I decided to do the rest by hand with chalk paint because the spray paint was absorbing way too much into the wood, but it was okay. I am going to do a very rough coat because I am going to heavily distress it, so I'm not looking for a full coverage. I am going to be stenciling the sides using this A Maker Studio mesh stencil, which is a reusable stencil. It's really cool. It has like a beehive kind of theme as well as some flowers. So I'm just going to remove it and I am going to place it right on each side. It's really easy to use. You basically just place it on top. You stick it on, it'll stick to it, and then when you're done using it, you just wash it. It's really, really cool. I'm going to use their gel art ink and a squeegee, and I'm just going to start applying the ink, and basically you just apply it on, remove the excess, and then when you remove the stencil, you have a beautiful design, just like that. Beautiful. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'm going to choose another corner. That way the design is just a little bit different. I have a link down below in the description box where you can find these stencils and all of these supplies at A Maker Studio. As mentioned earlier, I do want this basket to have a very distressed look, so I am using my palm sander and a 150 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to sand all sides, including the sides with the design, because I want it to look like it's been with the basket since the beginning. To finish it off, I'm just going to give it a light coat of this Rust-Oleum chalked matte clear top coat. That way it'll seal everything in, and that's it for this one. I love the way this one turned out. I'm actually going to use it as a decorizer, just like you see here. I added some greenery inside and I added some decor on top, and I think it's stunning. Door was given to me by a family member who was just cleaning out and had two of these. One of them I used for a Christmas DIY, and this one I am going to use it to create a farmhouse style wall decor. I removed the glass portion and I'm just marking every about 5.5 inches or so. And I'm just going to mark with my pencil because we are going to be drilling holes all along each side, the longer side, because we are going to be placing some dowels right inside. So I made sure that I grabbed a drill bit that was the same size as the dowel that I am going to be using. After everything was drilled and I dusted it, I'm going to give it 3 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and I'm going to let it fully dry. Then it's time to bring in the dowels. These dowels I believe I got at Walmart, but you can find dowels anywhere right now, even Dollar Tree. Here, I'm just going to mark where I need to cut. I'm going to use my miter shears that I do get on Amazon. They're always in my Amazon store. And I'm just going to cut out enough so that I have enough to place all over the door. I'm going to paint them with the Waverly chalk pen in the ink tone. And 1 coat was sufficient because it's so pigmented. And I'm just going to do all of them. I wanted this decor to be a little bit more on the farmhouse style, so I am going to distress it using a sandpaper. I'm just going to focus only on the edges to bring in those edges and just kind of pop and give it a little bit more of character. Once it was all done, it's time to start applying the dowels. I'm just going to start applying one side. I'm going to bend it very, very carefully and then put them on the other side. At first, I thought some of them were going to snap on me. They actually didn't. They actually stayed pretty strong. They were flexible enough to be able to kind of bend and be able to place them in, but strong enough that where they did not break. So I did that all along the door. I did cut off here and there a little bit if I needed it. I'm going to fill in the little holes where the original handle was. I'm going to let that dry. I'm also going to retouch the dowels because while placing them, some of the white paint kind of rubbed off on the black. So I want it to look nice and professional. So I'm just going to touch that up. No big deal. I did want to add a hook to the top of the design. This is so that we can hang a wreath form. And then I'm also going to add a couple of larger hooks on the bottom of it so that we can use it as a coat hanger. And this is it for this one, and I love every single aspect of this project. I love that it was free, and I love that it turned out so beautiful. It is not used as a door anymore. I think it has such a farmhouse look. Stunning. Sign that I had and made several months ago, and I am going to use the back side. I love the size of it, and I think the idea of having a two-sided sign is always such a smart way of reusing your decor. On the back side, I am going to give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the ink. It's too bad you'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell. Once it was dry, I am going to distress the edges using my palm sander and a 220 grit sandpaper. And then using Cricut Design Space, I purchased this windmill design, which I thought was very cute. And I am going to actually weed it out, but I'm not going to need the actual top portion of the windmill. I'm only going to need the bottom portion. Or at least I try to be, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before, and she'll never know. For the windmill portion, I'm going to use this Dollar Tree windmill. I'm going to just remove the windmill part, and then I am going to spray paint it using Rust-Oleum flat white spray paint. It's like she stole my heart. Yeah, I am going to drill a hole where I want the windmill to sit in, and then I am going to just place a little bit of hot glue in the hole and then place the windmill on it. And then I'm just going to place the original rope that was already on there. And we're about done with this one, and I think this one is one of my favorites. It's so durable, super large, very unique, and I love that it's two-sided, and I like that it's black with the white design. Lovely. For the next flip, I am going to upcycle this Easter sign I got at the thrift store for $2.99. I thought it was a great deal. I'm going to turn it into a farmhouse style welcome sign. I'm going to remove everything from it, the galvanized little sign that's on it, the wooden egg, as well as all of the glitter that's on top. I am going to remove all the glitter using my palm sander. It is so much quicker, so much more effective, and I had a piece of paper stuck on it. I couldn't grab it, so I had to, I don't know, stop it. And anyway, we're going to get back to business here. So I removed all the glitter using the electric sander. It is just quicker. When I removed the galvanized tin that was on it, I did leave some couple little holes. So I did want to fill those with some wood filler. A very little bit went a long way. Once it dried, it was time to just wipe everything down really well. And then I just placed one coat of this matte clear top coat. That way it'll seal everything in if there's any of that dark paint coming through. I'm going to give it 2 coats of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. So for the design, I used my Cricut, and I used a stenciling vinyl that I get on Amazon. I do have a lot of my favorite supplies on my Amazon store, which is linked down below if you want to check it out. So the sign says welcome-ish, and then it says depends on who you are. I thought it's so stinking cute. So I am going to remove the top portion of it because I do want to place that a little higher on the sign. So I'm just going to remove that part, and I'm going to try a little trick that my friend Lisa from Crafting My Best Life with Lisa Marie told me about, and I thought that's a great idea. So I put some painter's tape on the words, and then I tried to just remove the backing by placing the vinyl just like you see here, and then I realized it was tilted. So now I had to remove it. Oh God. And paint came off. It's not the first time. It is not the first time. So now I'm committed. So now I want this to work. So I'm trying it again. And this time I'm really taking my time. I'm making sure that it's straight. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's working. My friend is a genius. This is fantastic. Except that I'm not, apparently, because I placed it way too far left. And so the W was actually coming outside of the sign. Yep, there it is. Oh God. So this time I am frustrated. So I ripped this thing off of the sign and I have to do it all over again. Seriously, it should not be this difficult. That's what I get for trying new things, right? No, let's keep trying new things. That's how we learn and that's how we grow. Now that I have it like this, the question is, do I leave it because it has distress on it and I was going to distress it anyways? Or should I paint it again? And I think I'm going to just keep it. So I did everything all over again, and this time, yes, I did use transfer tape. Yes, some humor there. It works great. You know, I was just trying to save some transfer tape, and that's what I get, but it's all good. It worked out in the end. So I'm just going to apply the transfer tape right on top, then remove the back, and then I'm just going to apply it, and I am going to very carefully apply it, making sure that it's centered and nothing's going to go one way or the other. And this one, I think I nailed it. I am going to use a stenciling brush that I recently got on Amazon. It is on my Amazon store. It is fantastic. I'm also going to be using a gray tone of the Maker Studio Gel Art ink, and is really good for stenciling, which is why I'm using it. And I'm just going to stencil the whole thing, and as you can see, very patchy, but I like it because it just gives it a farmhouse distressed look. Even though a lot of the paint already had come off, I do want to distress it quite a bit more, especially on the edges. And I am going to distress the words as well, just so that it looks like this board, this sign has been around for a very long time. And I am going to once again give it one coat of the top coat from Rust-Oleum just to seal everything in. I am going to add a crystal knob, so I am going to drill a hole right underneath the little heart there, and then we're going to place this knob. I do get these on Amazon all the time. I always have them on hand because I love them. They're very chic, very inexpensive, and yes, I do have them on my Amazon store. I decided to antique the edges just a little bit more, so I like using these little foundation brushes that you can find at the Dollar Tree, and this is the Waverly Antiquing Wax, and I'm just going to start applying it around the edges and then wiping off the excess. And we're just about done with this one. A couple of sawtooth hooks on the back, and this sign is stunning. I love how farmhouse it looks. I love that it has humor, and I love that it looks like it's been around for a very long time. Flip, we are going to upcycle this cedar board that I got at the thrift store for $1.99. I'm going to give it a pretty rough one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white, and we're going to let it fully dry. Using the block sander, I am going to distress it even more, and it'll just soften all of those edges and that paint. And then we're going to wipe it really, really well because we are going to add another one of those Maker Studios mesh reusable stencil. I've used this one recently on another DIY, but I'm going to place it towards the right side of the board, and then we are going to do the same thing using the squeegee and the gel art ink. We are going to spread the ink, making sure the entire stencil is covered. We remove the stencil, and then of course the design is absolutely beautiful. One of these little tiny wreaths from the Target dollar spot. They come 3 in a packet for $3. I am going to screw it in on the left side of the design, and then because it was missing a little like something on top, I didn't want to put a bow, so I decided to hot glue a piece of boxwood from another set, and I think it matched pretty closely well. I like the way it turned out. I'm just going to hot glue it, add 2 sawtooth hooks to the back, and that's it. Such an easy flip, such an easy upcycle. I love the way this one turned out. I can't wait to put it in my booth and sell it. And I would love to know which one is your favorite. I certainly cannot pick I love flipping. I love the look that it has. Of course, you can use any color you want, but let me know which one is your favorite down at the comments. If you are visiting for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. I have another video for you here. If you want to watch, just click on it. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.